Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm today's host, Coleman Hodges, and joining us today, in the last 3 weeks alone, he has become a 2-time World University Games champion and finally a world champion. He competed at both the Summer Universiade in Rheinruhr or in Berlin for swimming, as well as the World Championships in Singapore. He won a total of 6 medals. And in Singapore at those World Championships, he was silver in the 50 back, silver in the 200 back, and gold in the 100 backstroke, 51.85. Today, we are sitting down with Pieter Coetze. Peter, thanks so much for joining us. How's it going, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. And yeah, thanks for that intro.
This episode of the SwimSwam podcast is sponsored by Commit Swimming, SwimSwam's exclusive team management software partner. Since 2015, Commit has been providing coaches with swimming's leading workout management software. And now, Commit has team management software too. Commit wants to help you make the switch from Team Unify to a simpler, more powerful solution. Their onboarding and customer service team will walk you through every step of the way. Check them out at commitswimming.com to book your demo today. That's COMMIT swimming.com. We were just talking a little bit off camera, but you've been jet setting this summer. You've had a lot of travel. We were covering the World University Games, and I think that's when, just me personally at least, realized you were doing that double, both the World University Games and the World Championships. So I want to just start there. What motivated you to do both, and how did you go about planning and preparing for 2 7 or 8 day meets back to back?
Yeah. At first, I actually really didn't want to go do the uni games when my coach and I first started talking about it earlier in the year, because I just thought it'd be too much and I wanted to focus on Singapore. But for some reason, he wanted me to do it both. And I thought about it for a few weeks, and eventually I said, okay, I'm in for both. I want to see how it goes. Partly because I think I've always done quite well with a bit more racing, and I kind of get better the more I race. I saw that in 2022 when I did quite a few back-to-back meets, and my last one was like the best, and I swam the fastest. So that was part of the decision. And another big motivation was a lot of the guys I train with every day would be in the uni games team, which is a nice opportunity because I don't get that often to go on a trip with them as well. And they're the guys who I probably spend most time with at the pool and in training and stuff. So that was a big honor too, because as I say, normally, obviously the team for Worlds is quite small. So those guys wouldn't be on that team in the past. And now I got the opportunity to be on a trip with them, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of questions for just preparing for this. In training, are you doing anything differently to knowing that you kind of have this, 2-week, 14-day period where you're trying to be pretty much on the entire time?
No, I wouldn't say I did anything differently. I kind of just leave that up to my coach, and I do whatever he says, kind of thing. So yeah, I didn't really change much in terms of that. My training was a little bit different this year because normally I'll join the mid-distance group for most of the year. And then about 2 weeks out of my focus meet, I'll change over to sprint and hybrid. So I'll do maybe for the aerobic sessions, I'll still do mid-distance to keep the fitness up. But then for the main sessions, I'll do sprint. And this time I just kept doing mid throughout, which I guess was kind of just to ensure as well that I stay fit throughout both competitions. But yeah, I also just wanted to see how that works out, to know what I should do in the future as well.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? 14 days of 16, however many days. How many days was it from the start of uni games to the end of Worlds for you?
Uni games started on the 17th,
Okay.
and Worlds, I believe, started on the 27th.
Hmm.
So I think and it ended on the 3rd. So it's around,
Oh, and you raced the last day of
yeah,
Worlds.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I got out of that pool so quick after my last race. Yeah,
Oh, dude, I bet. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the 17th. So 1 week, 2 weeks. So 17 days. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
It was
I also just didn't realize uni games or World University Games, as we call it here, had semifinals.
yeah,
So you were really getting your fill of racing in. You raced 100 free, 100 back, 50 back.
yeah. And then I did the 4x1 free relay as well on the first day.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but when my coach and I decided how I'm gonna go do it, we sat down and we decided those are the events that I'll do, um, so that I can fly out 2 days earlier and have a little bit more time to adjust in Singapore, and so they don't like abuse me on the relays and use me on every single relay and like tie me out too much. So yeah, we committed to those events from the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And I think those last couple days covering World University Games, I remember being like, "Oh, I don't think Pieter Coetze is swimming. Maybe this is why. Maybe he left a little bit early." Um, and what I mean, again, before Worlds, we were having these discussions of like, how is he going to adjust? Right? You have all these other teams already there, having training camps in Asia. How do you feel like that adjustment was for you going from Berlin to Singapore?
I think it was pretty normal, or it was normal to me because the rest of my team flew in the same day as I did from South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And South
Yeah.
Africa is in the same time zone as Berlin. So that's just how we
Mm.
do it. I think no matter what the time zone is where we're going, we normally just we stay home as long as possible, and we don't do any training camps. We fly into the meet and get straight into it. So that helped me a lot, knowing that the rest of my team are in the same position, kind of in terms of the time. And yeah, so just try to just get used to the time zone as quick as possible. Got there and try to stay awake until it's a decent time to sleep in Singapore, and then take it from there.
Are you someone who can do that fairly easily? Adjust to a big time difference like that?
I'd say so. I'm not someone who really goes to bed super early, so I don't know if that kind of helps me. I feel like, because if I'm 6 hours behind and then I fly to Singapore, um, I don't know. I just feel like it helped me because I was able to stay awake um, later until it was around. It was still early, but it was like 9 p.m. that night when I arrived there, and then I only fell asleep. And then if you set an alarm for, let's say 9 or 10, you kind of get into it on day one already, day two, and you slept throughout the night. So if you can get your first night right, I feel like that helps a lot.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like people have told me that, and I think I somehow mess it up every time I travel internationally. I'm terrible at falling asleep when I'm
Mm.
tired. It's just like I
Yeah.
can't stay. I can't keep myself awake. But
Yeah.
it's good to hear you can. So again, how early did you get to Berlin? Was it like the day before the meet or 2 days before the meet?
2 days before we arrived, 2 days before it started. So we had a whole day. I think I got there early in the morning, had that whole day, and then I had the next day, and then we raced the day after that.
I'm always curious. I had no idea South Africa was the same time zone as Berlin, so that helps. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. I'm always just so curious about this, though. How do you pack for what was almost 3 weeks of travel and really intense competition? Where I'm guessing you're trying to bring all of the creature comforts of home, or as many as
Mhm.
you can, with you.
Yeah. I packed my Xbox. I packed my laptop. I packed um, just all my swimming stuff, of course, and then
Yeah.
I packed a whole bunch of snacks. So I took 3 bags, well, 2 big bags and then one carry-on.
Okay.
And then I was lucky because as soon as I left my kit for Singapore, yeah. And as soon
Hmm.
as I got there, my parents flew in to come and support, and they brought another suitcase with my Singapore stuff in. So
Okay.
I had the help from the parents, which helped a lot.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
So that does help a lot. That's
Mm.
great that your parents were able to bring you another suitcase. What snacks are you bringing from home?
Biltong, a lot of biltong. Do you know what biltong is?
No. What's
So it's
biltong?
like you guys call it jerky,
Oh,
but
okay. Yeah.
it's not jerky. It's like um, it is dried meat, but it only has salt and pepper. So it
Okay.
doesn't have any like spices or anything like that on. And I think that the drying process might be a bit different to jerky,
Okay.
but yeah, it's a big thing in South Africa. Every South African will tell you they love biltong. So I took biltong and then just like protein shakes, protein bars, energy bars,
Mhm.
just those kinds of things that I think most people take to a swim meet.
Yeah.
And yeah, stuff, especially for on the plane, it's quite nice to have in your carry-on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. Especially for those long flights, right? It's like sometimes they give you food, but you kind of want your own snacks.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's kind of risky to have a chicken pasta on the plane. You don't want to risk that. As we saw, it's quite dangerous.
As we saw, yeah. No kidding. I mean, so I'm guessing you did not deal, or did you deal with any kind of illness throughout this 2.5 weeks of travel?
No, no, I was very lucky.
That's nice.
I didn't get sick at all. I definitely had a little bit of a niggle in my elbow in the build up this year. So
Mhm.
it's been like bothering me a little bit, but nothing that like kept me out of the pool for too long. So I feel like that's just something most people deal with when you're swimming so much. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, most of the days I was racing, I had to like take a little something for the pain um, in Berlin, and then uh, I like rested for a day or two, and it felt better again. And then just like every now and then when I feel it, I would just have to focus on it a little bit and work on it. But yeah, very lucky. Didn't get sick and no big issues at all.
That is very lucky, and I feel like in sports that's one factor certainly, right? Is just like the luck aspect of it, or just how it falls of if you're going to get sick, if you don't get sick, if you're injured, if you're not injured, and it's nice when things fall your way for
Yeah, and
sure.
especially like it has to go your way on the day of the race as well. In the race itself, everything has to come together to be able to win a race. So yeah,
Yeah.
just definitely a bit of luck involved.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of these races. Again, you start in Berlin. What is we talked about it earlier. You kind of leave the training to your coach. I think a lot of athletes kind of have that mindset of like, you take care of this. I'm just going to do the work. But mentally, again, you're starting this huge 2-week block of racing. How are you approaching World University Games, and especially knowing that you have Worlds on the back of it, on those first couple days of racing?
Yeah, I approached it in a very laid back way. I just was focused on enjoying it and um, not like stressing myself out about it or putting pressure on myself at all. Which I think if I did like really focused on it and was put pressure on myself to perform well and all those things, then the burnout would have happened before Singapore. But because I had my friends there and it was just a chilled vibe, the coaches were very chilled and the management was relaxed and just the whole atmosphere there. Not only our team, I feel like everything there is more laid back than at Worlds. So that helped a lot. And yeah, not putting any pressure on myself to perform well. The performance was way better than I expected in Berlin. And then also I shaved my legs, I clipped my legs, but I didn't shave anything else. So that helped me feel like I'm saving something for Singapore too, which mentally, it's probably more mental than physical, but that helped me like, no, I still have something in the tank.
No, absolutely. And I feel like that's like a nice way to build into it, right? Like you clip, you clip the legs, and then you still get that shave feeling. You still get the like, ooh, I feel so good and so smooth in the water. But then you still have more to go.
Yeah, exactly. Because it does feel different when you use the razors, and I don't know if it's true, but some people say you like get the top layer of the skin off, and then
Right.
it's you just like, feel like you're gliding through the water. So it was good to feel that in Singapore. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so you clip the legs in Berlin. I specifically in that 100 back 51.99. I mean, tell me about moving through prelims, semis, and finals of that 100 back because I mean, you were 52 mid, 52 low in semis. I mean, and
Yeah.
you dropped a really good time, and everyone's kind of like, okay. But then you dipped under 52, and I think that really put everyone on notice.
Yeah, I think my coach and I really thought it was going to be easier than it was in Berlin, because I don't know if we didn't think about it or if we just, yeah, I think we didn't think about the fact that America is going to be sending a very strong team as well.
Yeah.
And like Will was there, Dan was there, and they swam really fast too.
Yeah.
So I had to work really hard, much harder than we thought. And my coach admitted to me as well that he really didn't think it was going to be that hard. He thought I was just going to go have some chilled swims in Berlin and set me up nicely for Singapore. But they made me really graft for those wins. So I think that helped a lot to drop time and get faster as well. So in the heat, I was like 53 low, and I saw they went 53. So I was like, okay, they're also looking pretty good. And then in the semi, Will was in the semi before me, and he went 52.7, I believe, 52.7 or 52.8. And I was like, okay, this is not what I expected. And then I was like, okay, I have to lock in. And I went 52.1, I think, in that semi. And that was already, I would have taken that and gone to Singapore after that, you know.
Yeah.
So that showed me, okay, I'm on track. And I decided that I'm going to have to go out a bit faster in the final in the first 50. And I did that. And then I got sub 52, which was like unreal to me. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, especially at that meet where, again, you're chilled out, you're relaxed, you're having fun with your friends. How do you process going, under such a huge barrier, and then again knowing that you've got like what 10, 12 more days of racing and high level competition?
Yeah, I just kept telling myself to do one thing at a time, like one race at a time and one day at a time, and then
Yeah.
one meet at a time. Because if I was thinking about Singapore while I was in Berlin, I think I would lose my mind because
Yeah.
thinking about the fact that I still have another whole 8 days of racing to go is a scary thought. But I think I controlled that well. And obviously, sometimes I did think about it, but then I just had to tell myself, no, relax, just focus on what you're doing now. And yeah, like I said again, the laid back vibe of uni games really helped me with that. It wasn't really so much based around the swimming at all. Like the team would be super happy about the swim. Like I was a fast swim, and then we just move on and go play FIFA in the room. So I think that helped a lot as well.
That's that's what you want in a swim meet, I think, right? You're just having
Yeah.
fun with your friends. The swims are like, okay, cool, let's go.
Yeah, you have to let it happen. You have to let it happen because the work is done. So if it's too intense of a mindset that you're in, I think you can get in your own way by thinking about it too much or being too hyped up about it. So you have to kind of get out of your own way and let it happen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's I think that's a great way to put it. It seems like you you were able to do that. How was it swimming the 50 backstroke at this meet? Again, you had a pared down schedule. I'm guessing the 200 was towards the end of the meet, but how was it just having hundreds and down at Unicamp?
Yeah, I loved it. I was so grateful. I think I left the pool by the time they did the 200 final, but I was like looking at the results and I was just so grateful I didn't have to swim this. So I think that was great. I'm glad the 200 was later in the schedule and I couldn't do it. And then by the time I got to Singapore and it was time for the 200, I felt more ready to do it.
Yeah. So like you said, you kind of kept the aerobic training and the aerobic swimming going. Was that at all a challenge for you compared to other seasons, or do you feel like kind of the training through the meets, was just kind of normal and you were able to do it pretty well?
No, it was definitely a challenge. I was doing some sessions that was like for 400 freestyle, and that's a big weakness of mine.
Okay.
So I was getting beat so badly by my friends in training, and there was just one specific set that I just really sucked at every time I did it. But I knew it was good for me because I remember telling my coach that after the first time I did it, I probably did it only 5 times in the build-up.
Okay.
Um, it was maybe 5 weeks of doing it once a week.
Mhm.
But I remember telling him that pain is the exact pain I felt in the 200 final in Paris. And I kind of like died in the last 50 of the 200. And then I said to him, I think that's perfect. That's what I need. So I think we worked on a weakness. We like found a weakness that I had and we really worked on it. So I think it was the right decision and it was definitely hard. But once I got in Berlin, I wasn't really training anymore.
Mhm.
I was doing what I normally would do a day or two before I meet. So once I got on the flight to Berlin, the hard training was done. So it really was like a double taper going to Singapore.
So what was the hard set?
It was so we started off 9 200 freestyles, long course, 30 seconds rest, and it's like your best time plus 20, then 18, then 16, then 12, all the way down to like PB plus 6, plus 8.
Okay.
And I really, really sucked at it. Like my whole body would just shut down. I would cramp. But like the first 2 times I did it, I think I stopped 1 or 2 reps before the end because I physically couldn't do it anymore. So yeah, the 400 free guys were like making fun of me and laughing at me, and I think that was really good for me. I really needed that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's good to be humbled sometimes, right?
exactly.
But like you said, it's it's good to train that pain. Our founder Mel Stewart, who swam the 200 fly, says always references a conversation he had with Bob Bowman when he was swimming 30 years ago, and he was like, "Bob, how would you have trained me for the 200 fly?" And Bob said, "I would have trained you for the 400 free."
Yeah,
So
I think yeah, it's an old school way of thinking. I think, but my coaches believes in doing the hard work. So there's no sprint revolution here in Pretoria.
it's all mid distance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 9/200's best average. Hey,
Yeah,
fair enough. I mean, we saw the results, so
yeah,
something's working.
exactly. He's made me a believer too. So
Yeah. I mean, that's great. So then you get to Singapore, and again, just mentally, how did you switch, or did things change, or did they feel similar to in Berlin?
no, things are different there. I think you can just tell there's something in the air. It feels more serious, and it's a bigger deal. Um, and like even the South African team they were actually very laid back too, which was nice. But we had my coach in Singapore, and my coach wasn't in Berlin, so he brings a different kind of mindset into it, and he's more like precise, and you know we're on a schedule and we're doing our training sessions and we're doing everything right. So I think it was good. I had to get a bit more serious because I was about to go up against all these guys who are very prepared and very good, and they're like also in that state of mind of we're swimming in a world championship. So I think the way everything played out couldn't have been better for me. I had enough days to refocus. But between Berlin and Singapore, I try to not think about it as much as possible, because your mind needs that, and it's good for your body too, your nervous system to forget about swimming just for a day or two before refocusing and thinking about the fact that you're doing it all again.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, so one question, that fifth, your results from the uni games, especially that 51.99, did you carry confidence into Singapore from that? Did it bring pressure, or like you were just kind of talking about, did you just kind of try to forget it and start fresh?
No, I definitely tried to forget it, but a day or two or a day before the 100 back, I was using it to gain confidence. I would tell myself like, I'm one of the only guys here who's been 51, so I can expect good things. And like going into the race, I could say to myself, I've been a 51, which is a big confidence booster, and I definitely used that as well. So, but it could have gone either way. Like if I went to Berlin and had a bad performance, um, that definitely would have affected me in a negative way, and I would have wondered, am I going to be on form in Singapore? Is it going to be good? So it was a gamble to do that, but I think you just have to let it happen. And I swam the first race and it did go well, and then you can use it to motivate you. But if it didn't go well, then I would have to use a different angle. Say I'm more rested now, or whatever you need to say to get yourself ready. It's always changing.
Yeah. No. It's always it's always up in the air. Who knows where you're at? Speaking of motivation, I have to shout out your shout out. We didn't pick you. We didn't pick you to final in an event. Is that, I didn't even confirm this, so I want to double check. We didn't pick you to final in it.
Yeah,
any backstroke event.
No, so if I remember correctly, I only saw the 100. I don't know if you picked me in the 50 or the 200, but in the 100, and the 100, according to you guys, I wasn't going to make a final. So I had to shout out you guys in the Instagram post. I'm sorry.
We love, hey, we welcome that. Like, I think SwimSwam can, we provide a service and we're journalists, but when we're wrong, we want to be told we're wrong. And we were wrong.
Okay.
So no, I loved seeing that. I loved you tagged us in it. I don't make those, by the way, but
okay, good to know. It was, at least I know it wasn't you.
It wasn't me, but I mean, I'll be honest. We did a men's preview, and I don't know if we just talked about the 100 back, but I don't know. I don't know if you were on my radar. You certainly were after Berlin, but I mean, that's kind of like, well, of course he's just went 51. How can you not count him in? But I loved seeing that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So you're heading into the meet, and I'm also wondering. I feel like swimmers or coaches especially say a lot, you can't focus on feel, or you can't focus on like how you feel in the water. And I'm curious if that's something you think about, but also just going back to the shaving aspect. And again, I'm guessing you were feeling pretty good and pretty loose in Berlin. Were you carrying that same feeling in the water into Singapore and maybe even elevated?
Yeah, I actually wasn't feeling great in the water in Berlin. So that also helped, like, not have any expectations, because I was like, I'm not feeling great. So I guess let's just see what happens. And then I think obviously raced, no intense training, no like mileage on the shoulders and the legs, and just a few 50s and 100 swims. Which is a different kind of strain on your body racing, but it's less draining of your energy, I feel like, than hard training. So then I had a day of good rest before Singapore, and the day I got in the water after that, I felt amazing. So I felt way better going into Singapore than going into Berlin, which was perfect, which is exactly what I needed and what I wanted out of it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you get to Singapore. I'm also curious, these things always get blown out of proportion, I think, but I think at any international meet, it might be hard to get pool time in. just because there's so many athletes. I think we posted a video of one of the warm up pool, and it looked ridiculous. People were swimming on top of each other, etc. And again, I'm like, is that really what it looks like, or is this just a little clip? But how was it just getting into the warm up pool, or making sure you have time to get your session in, because I feel like that can be tricky with so many athletes trying to do their own thing.
No, their videos are true. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's really crazy. It's actually like probably my least favorite thing about going to a big meet. But for the first 2 days that I was in Singapore, I actually swam at a school pool. So my coach had a connection with this other coach called Gil, and it was at the International Family School or something like that in Singapore, with an amazing 50-meter pool. And so we swam there, which was great. Just the 5 of us. There was a group of it was 4 of us, so the whole pool to ourselves, and we could do this session properly. And then the day before, our coach made us get up at like 6:30 and head to the pool before anyone else. So we got there and we were the only ones in the competition pool, which worked out well, because again, we could do the session properly and not swim into people. But then obviously, as soon as the competition starts, you're gonna have to warm up in that pool, and there's like 25 people in one lane, which is really hard. So you kind of have to go around it. And I accept going into it, I'm probably not going to be able to do my proper normal warm up. I'm not going to be able to do like 50s pace, with all those people. So you go around and you have to change things here and there. But it's always the same thing at the Olympics, at Worlds, at any big meet. So it's not something new.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And that's nice that you were able to swim in another pool and kind of get the work in. But the knowing that your coach is like, we're training at 6:30, I feel like I already have a sense of who this person is as a coach.
Yeah. No, I think I'm painting the picture well so far, of his like methods.
Yeah. What's your coach's name?
Rocco
yeah.
Mayer.
Rocco Mayer. Okay. So then you get into the meet. You're in Singapore. I think 100 back was first, right?
Yeah. On day 2.
Okay. So can you take me through prelims and semis and finals of that again, knowing that you'd done prelims, semis, finals of 100 back about a week ago, but very different scenario this time.
Yeah. Going into heats again, I was just like trying to let it happen. And I went 52.8. I qualified in 7th, and I was like, okay, 52.8 to 7th place. I don't think I've ever seen a heat session that fast, 100 backstroke. But everyone was pretty close. I was pretty surprised by like Johan. He went like 52.3 in the morning. I was like, is this guy gonna go 51 low or something?
Yeah, he had a great meet.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that woke me up a bit. I was like, okay, everyone's on.
Yeah.
And then I came to the semi. I knew it was probably going to take 52 low to be very safe to make it in, and I got a 52 low. So just super happy to make it into the final, because I knew once you're in the final, it's probably going to be so bunched up. Everyone's going to be close. It was going into the meets. Everyone was just talking about how it's the most stacked race on the men's side. And I myself thought so too, just looking at all the names and the times and how close the entries were, especially with the Russians back in the mix too.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. And then after I made it into the final, I was like, okay, that's like the hard part done now. That was the big challenge, to just make it in. And I knew it was going to be anybody's game in the final. I decided I had to take it out a bit faster after seeing what Clement went out in and what the other guys went out in. And I knew I had the speed, so I went out faster than I've ever went out in the first 50. And it got close in the end, but by the grace of God, I got my hand on the wall first. So
did you feel the the 9/200s free best average pain on the last 50, or is that a different kind of pain?
No, I mean the 9/200s took that pain away. To be honest, like even in the 200 is where I really feel that pain. The 200 back, and yeah, I was able to swim like a 2-second PB in the 200 back. So yeah, I really think that session was the difference maker.
Yeah. And so 51.85. Can you just take me through that reaction? Because I mean, you dip further into 51 territory, African record, and world title all in one swim.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even look at the time, to be honest. I probably saw the time later at the hotel when I looked at the results on my phone. It was all about all about like who wins the race.
Mhm.
So if I won it in a 53, I would be equally happy, you know. So yeah, but then obviously after looking at the time and thinking about it and seeing like that it was, I think, third fastest at the time of all time, was crazy to me, and it was like better than I could have expected a month ago or a few months ago coming into the season. So yeah, it felt unreal in the moment when I was celebrating. That feeling is something you can't explain when you become a world champion. And I think when I walked out of the pool, the first thing Chad said to me was, because Chad was like in the back there, he had the flag, we were taking pictures, and he was like, "Remember this feeling." Because it's an addictive feeling. So, like, I understand what it means now, and to have that feeling is such a big honor to me. And yeah, I can't even remember the race, to be honest. I can't remember anything that happened during the race. I can only remember from looking up and seeing the number one next to my name.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you, that's so cool that Chad was there and was able to celebrate with you. And I mean, talk about an icon, talk about someone who's, won a few titles in his day. I mean, geez,
Yeah.
especially world titles.
Yeah, exactly. No, and he was just so happy. It was so cool to see. He was over the moon as well, and just celebrating with me in the back. Very special. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. But then to have to turn around and go right into the 200 back. Did you have a day in between those two races?
Yeah. So I had the next day. Well, the next morning, they actually made me swim a relay. So
Okay.
I swam a relay the next morning. I really didn't want to,
Which relay
but
was it?
it was another 100 backstroke.
Okay.
It was the 4x1 medley, mixed medley.
Mixed medley. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was that day, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I got to bed super late. I couldn't sleep because of the adrenaline,
Sure. Yeah.
and just had to get up and go get the swim done in the morning. And then I had the day to myself that I could just chill in my room and recover and like regroup. And then the 200 was up the next day.
Did you feel regrouped and recovered for that 200 by the time it rolled around, especially just having that world champion high?
Yeah, I think I was able to kind of move on to the next thing now, because I knew coming into it I'm not only there for one race, even though I kind of favored the 100 after seeing what I did in Berlin. But I always knew I was going to swim 3 races, so I just had to start thinking about the next thing and not get too caught up in what happened last night.
It seems so difficult to me to go from the 100 to the 200. So how did you manage that, again, just mentally, but also physically? Like we said, it's such a different race and such a different pain at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I used to swim the 200, like I tried to strategically swim it and take it out a bit slower and then build it and come back hard. But I haven't really done the 200 firstly in a long time. And I haven't thought about how I'm going to swim the 200 really at all. So coming into that, I kind of like had no plan. And I was like, okay, it shouldn't be too fast in the morning to make it back. and there was like crazy depth in that race, and many people swam pretty fast in the morning, and I barely made it through. So
I totally forgot you were 16th and you were
yeah,
4/100ths ahead of Thomas Chacon.
yeah. So I was standing at the back, thinking I'm out. There's no way I'm making it through. After watching the next heat, and Thomas comes up to me and he says, "We through, we through." I say, "I don't think we are," and he's like, "No, we okay, we okay." And the screen comes up. He checks it and he just walks away. And I was like, "Oh no, we out." And I just took a step forward and I saw I beat him by like 0.04, and I'm in.
Oh.
So that was crazy. I couldn't believe it. But I think that made me pretty grateful for my spot in the semi-final and got me to to like make sure that I get a good swim in.
Yeah, I mean, and there was like a lot of guys who also were out of that semifinal. I mean, just below you again, Thomas Chacon, Lucas Martins, Oliver Morgan, Bradley Woodward. I mean, yeah, again, just a ton of guys who also just missed the final too. So
Yeah,
crazy depth in that
could be
one.
me. Could have been me easily.
So,
So
so then again, how did you overcorrect in that semifinal? Because you headed into the final as top seed.
yeah, I was in lane 8 in the semi-final, and I said I'm just going to take it out, and I'm just going to try and hold on. So I took it out faster than I've ever taken it out before. I was 55.0 at the 100, and then I saw I had a big lead, and I kind of backed down on the last 50 and just made sure I got the win. And yeah, when I saw the time, I was pleasantly surprised, and I knew I would probably go quite a bit faster in the final.
Yeah. And so it seems like I'm sensing a common theme here. It seems like you have learned how to take out your races faster than you ever have, but then not so much that you're not swimming a smart race. Is that something you feel like you developed this season?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's all about the mindset going into it, because so many times I would tell myself, especially in the 200, that I'm going to take it out fast. And then something automatic just happens in me that I still assume it's safe and smart. And that's sometimes you have to like take a risk and be brave. It's about bravery. And I think I finally got it right this time, especially in the 200, in the final, because before the race, my coach said to me, if there's a time to take a risk, it's now. It's the post-Olympic worlds. It's not the end of the world if you completely die in the last 50 and you can't hold it together. And we can always just like have a different strategy going forward. But in this race, no strategy. Take it out fast and hold on. And I did that, and Kos just stayed with me. I think he saw me and he decided he's going to do the same thing. So that was a very interesting race. But I think I'll probably involve a little bit more thinking and strategy next time I swim the 2 back.
Could you see Hubie during that final? Because he was right next to you in lane 3.
Yeah, I could see that I was ahead of him by the 100. And then I could see him passing me on the third 50. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go too hard on this third 50, because there's still another one to come. But I did see him and I was like, okay, he's put a good lead on me now. And then I just like used whatever I had left in the last 50, and yeah, I came up short.
I'm, relative, I guess, for winning the race, but still like 153.3, pretty good. I mean, that's the one of the fastest times we've seen in 5 years, certainly. I'm curious, just your thoughts on the 200 backstroke as an event, just because that world record has kind of been daunting for so long, right? 151.9. I think we have yet to see 152 in the last decade. But for you to come so close, did you feel any certain way about being that low and really going an historic time in that final?
Yeah, no, definitely. I couldn't actually believe the time. I was like, that was insane. But I've always looked at that world record and thought, how are we ever going to break this? So yeah, now it's looking a bit more doable. But when I was at 155, and giving it my all, dying, feeling completely wrecked after the race. I was like, how do you go 151? I don't understand it. So yeah, after this swim, I was like, I started believing again a bit. And I think that, yeah, Hubie and I will push each other a lot, and all the other guys as well. Everyone is improving. So I think the event's moving forward again. And I think for a long time, people didn't take it out fast enough. I really think that's the main thing. But now it's just a question of taking it out, but still holding on to the end.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also good to see a lot of these swimmers who are, like you said, focusing on speed as well as endurance. I mean, I've seen Hubie train personally, and him with Bob, he's focusing on the 100 almost as much as he's focusing on the 200, and it seems like you're doing a same thing or similar thing where it's like you're working on that speed and you're working on that front end speed, and how to take it out. And,
yeah. I mean, yeah. I never used to. It's a new thing to me, so hopefully I can keep doing that.
I mean, I know you said you're kind of in aerobic group a lot of the year. Are there sessions during the week where you're working on speed or taking races out?
Yeah, we work on speed throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
We start off with like mostly aerobic work, and then we'll do 1 or 2 sessions of speed in that block as well. And then as we get closer to the meet, we'll start throwing in more threshold and more back end speed stuff. But speed is one thing that remains throughout the season, at least once a week. So I think that's what helps for the shorter races.
Yeah. What do speed practices look like for you?
This year we did a lot of overspeed stuff with fins. So we'll do like free and back arms with a butterfly kick, which gets you to really like drive up the stroke rate. And then if you like a breaststroke, you'll do a breaststroke with fly kick. And the flyers will do freestyle kick with butterfly arms. But it doesn't matter what stroke you specialize in, you do all of them. And
Okay.
I think especially like the butterfly is great for your speed if you like really drive your arms and get a high stroke rate. So we worked on all of that a lot from the beginning of the season. And then we have a different kind of set where we do starts, like start 50, start 35, start 25, those kinds of things. And we do it like 4 rounds of speed or 5 rounds of speed, depending on where we are or what group you're part of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. That sounds really fun. The overspeed with fence.
Yeah, we really enjoy it.
Yeah. High rev, high intensity.
Exactly.
And then ending the meet, speaking of speed, ending the meet with that 50 backstroke, does that feel like more of a fun event for you, or just like, hey, let's see what's here?
It was fun, but I think a big part of why it was so fun was because it was the last race, and I knew I only had to go 1 lap. But I don't really like the 50 that much because, firstly, if you do something wrong, then that's you done in a tough race. Like if you get one thing wrong, it's going to be very hard to fix it. And secondly, I feel like it's very specialized. It's like if you look at the 50 freestyle guys, not many of them are going to do 100 free as well at the top level. They're pretty specialized in the 50. So people who train more for the speed and for the shorter races are going to be faster, and they can focus more on power and speed. While if you're doing training for 200, you're obviously going to do a lot of distance and mileage and slow twitch fiber type of stuff. So I just kind of do the 50 to see what happens, see where I'm at. But I was very happy with how it went.
You broke at 2 African records, one in semis and one in finals. You broke that, which was held by Zane Waddell. Is that correct?
No, it was by Harald Zandberg.
From 2009.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what is it? I mean, what did it mean? Again, you just described like, I'm just kind of doing the 50, but you were able to get past both of those pretty legendary South African 50 backstrokers who were like very specialized in that 50 backstroke.
Yeah, I feel like that record was like, I really wanted that one eventually, because back in 2023, I got very close. I went 24.36 at nationals, and the record was 0.34. So I kind of thought, okay, next time I swim it, I'm probably going to break it. But then 2 years went by, and I didn't get close. Oh, I got close, but I like didn't swim a 0.3 again. Even I was 0.4 was my fastest. So yeah, I feel like that one was a long time coming, and it's pretty cool to finally get it.
Do you feel like you can, especially for a 50, when you have the prelims, semis, finals, you can really kind of hone in on what you need to do to make that race optimal?
Yeah, I think so. The big thing for me was like focusing on the start and getting a good start, because that plays a big part in a 50 especially. So yeah, you can do your heats, and if you feel something was off, you can kind of think about it and make sure you focus on it in the final. So like, for example, in the final of the 200, I had a very, very slow reaction time, which is in the 200, it's not going to make a huge difference. But then I was like, okay, that's something I should look at in the final. So I just like really made sure as soon as I heard the thing to get a fast reaction time and go, because in a 50 that's actually going to make a difference. So things like that it helps to have some warm up swims before you get to the main event.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so now, just kind of reflecting, I just saw a really cool post from Roland Skuman the other day. You and him are now the only two South Africans to win 3 medals at a World Championships. And you took a picture with him. When how old were you in that picture?
I was 12 years old. That was at the 2016 Olympic trials.
Oh wow!
My older sister was competing, and I just went to watch, and I was taking pictures with everyone, with Chad and at the time Calvin Justice, and they were all there. I've got pictures with all of them, and Roland was one of them. So it's pretty cool, very cool.
That's incredible. Yeah, just how are you feeling about this 2 weeks of racing overall, and how now that you're back home and able to process it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely processing it now more, and like celebrating a little bit with my friends here back home. But I think it feels pretty normal to me now. I'm back to normal again after riding the high in Singapore, because it's like I tried to always believe that it would happen eventually. I would like be a world champion. So now it was just like a matter of when to me. And same for my like my support circle. We all believed. My parents, they also just were in that mindset of, it's not a matter of if it's gonna happen, it's just a matter of when it's gonna happen. And now that it's been realized, it's like I don't want to sound cocky, but it's like not a surprise,
Yeah.
It's not a surprise to me. I knew it was coming. So yeah, I'm just glad to be home and be able to take a week or two of just resting and having fun.
No, that's great. I mean, I think as an elite athlete, that belief is part of your core, right? Like, I don't think any successful athlete will tell you they didn't believe.
Exactly. You can't reach high heights in the sport, in any sport, if you don't like believe you will do it. So
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. So especially coming off of Paris, the Paris Olympic Games last summer. Did you feel like you had stark takeaways from that competition, or things you wanted to carry into this season from that experience?
yeah, I mean, it was tough. Paris was very tough,
Mhm.
because I really believed I could win a medal at least, and I came up short, and it was just bad because I could see very clearly that everyone was just beating me on the turns and the underwaters, and I was just as fast as them, if not faster, on top of the water. So I knew that's what I had to work on. And even though it's something I've always known, it's just a big weakness of mine. It used to be a big weakness of mine, and then things just came together now. And after like a long time of really focusing on it, it's elite now, and it's much better. And yeah, one thing I won't forget is the pain I felt in the 200 backstroke final. um, just like I could barely walk after that. I had to sit down, and I remember just like lying down on the floor, sitting down on the floor, and just the guys walking past me, the guys who just won medals, saying, shaking my hand, saying, "Sorry, bro, sorry." Like, maybe I just got a seventh place.
Yeah.
So I think that feeling of losing is important too, and I needed to experience that. Because if I just like went to Paris and got a double gold, what did I really learn out of that? So I learned a lot out of Paris. It was maybe not the result I wanted, but the lessons were very necessary, and I could carry that into this next season.
Yeah. No, that's really great to hear, because I mean, I think you have to experience some of those lows before you get to the highs, right? And I mean, and sometimes vice versa, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's where we learn the most, right?
yeah,
It's from
definitely.
Yeah. I'm also curious. I don't know a whole lot about this story. At one point, you were coming to the United States, or that was the plan for you. Can you just tell me a little bit about your thought process there, or why you ended up, staying in Pretoria?
Yeah, so that was a very hard decision to make, because obviously in the US, the facilities, the opportunities, the coaches, everything is just like better. Everything is top level there.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to go to Cal, which at the time, it was probably the best place I could go with all the backstrokers that they had. And the thought of training with those guys, having them to push me, was perfect. Um, but after like committing, I was obviously super keen to go, and I was ready. And I told my coach, and everyone was on board. Even though my coach obviously didn't want me to go, he accepted it, and he said he understands the reasoning.
Mhm.
Um, I just thought about it for a long time, because it's quite a big decision. And if you get it wrong, it's like it really can affect your career a lot. Not only your career, you're leaving your family behind, you're leaving your whole support system back home, which is it's a far way away as well. So it was probably the biggest decision I've had to make up to that point. Um, and yeah, so I spent a lot of time thinking about it. And eventually I kind of had a pros and cons list in my head. And the pros of going didn't really outweigh the cons for me personally,
Yeah.
because the cons for me involved things like, you know, leaving my parents here, leaving my family here, um, leaving, it's African people, it's the people, the place, it's home to me. And I don't know if it's really optimal as a human being for me to leave it behind yet. I felt like I wasn't done with South Africa yet. I wanted to stay here and stay home, close to the family and close to what I know. And another thing, like more technical aspect of it, was that I kind of didn't really know how I felt about the whole yards college system thing. And, you know, if me as a foreigner goes to a US college, will they kind of, if they need a freestyler and I'm a backstroker, will they like push me into another direction than what I have planned for my own career?
Yeah.
And our nationals are in April, our trials are in April, right after NCAAs. So it's
Yeah.
like after a few months of training for NCAAs, which is obviously like they're going to be super focused on NCAAs. They're not going to worry about South African nationals because that's what it's about. It's about NCAAs and the college system. So those are like the cons that I thought about, and it just didn't. It made more sense for me to stay.
No, I appreciate that you can tell you put a lot of thought into that
Mm.
decision. More than probably most people your age might. But I can absolutely understand the human aspect of that. I went to college in my hometown. I lived with my parents for half of it and like 10 minutes away for the other half of it. And at the time, that was the only option for me. And so I didn't even, I was a little resentful almost about it. But looking back, it's the best thing I could have done,
Yeah.
um, having being in an environment that will nurture you and take care of you as a human. And I think that trickles down to being an athlete as well. It's like that's important.
Yeah, it's like they say, a happy swimmer makes a fast swimmer. And it's not necessarily that I would be unhappy if I went. It was just like I was happy, yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't really need to change it, and I was swimming pretty well. So I decided to see where it takes me to stay here. So I sat down with my coach, and we said, he said he's committed to be here until 2028, and I said I'm going to be here until 2028. So let's get to work.
Let's get to work. I love it. I'm just curious. We're about to wrap up, but I'm just curious about your training group. How many athletes are you training with on a day-to-day basis there?
It's huge. It's
Okay.
very big. So we're at the university in Pretoria.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Tux, and it's a 12-lane 50-meter pool outdoor.
Wow.
So we have what we need,
Yeah.
And we have different groups. In the morning there's 2 sessions, and in the afternoon there's 3 sessions.
Okay.
It starts at around like 1:30, 1:30, 2:00, and then the last session starts at 5:45 p.m. Each group probably has six people per lane times 12. So each group probably has like 60, let's say 60 swimmers. So that's like 180 swimmers that I think we probably have in our group. And then we have satellites all across Gauteng, which is the province we're in. We have satellites all across as well, which is in like school pools or like 25-meter pools. So overall, I don't even know how many registered swimmers we have in our club, but it's a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So your training group is quite big.
Yeah, that's huge. But it changes quite a lot because depending on what you're preparing for, the groups will change. So when we get closer to a big meet that only a few of us are doing, we'll kind of get our own group and we get to do our own thing, because obviously everyone else isn't on our schedule and we may be a bit further along in the plan for the year. We may be tapering or they tapering and we not, or things like that. And then it clashes and you have to kind of make it another plan.
I see. Nice.
Yeah.
Do you train short course much there? 25 meters?
Never. I can't remember the last time I did a 25 training session.
Wow. So it's all long course.
It's all long course. We only have that one pool, and every single session of the week we do that. So I actually come from a different city, and I was in a very small club there in a public gym, and that was a 25-meter pool. So I trained short course until I was like 14, 15, and then from then on only 50-meter training.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do you like it? But I guess you don't have a choice.
No, you don't have a choice. But to be honest, like when I do go train short course sometimes, or when I'm at a short course meet, it's not that it's like that I like it a lot more than long course. I actually would say I prefer long course over short course. Yeah. Hey,
fair enough. I mean, when I feel like there's a lot of athletes who are in that same boat, and I just don't. I don't know if I've ever met someone who only trains long course. It's kind of incredible to me.
Yeah, it's pretty. Tatiana was in our group.
Okay.
And so yeah, she also never did a short course. No short course training at all.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And hey, 2 world champions. You can't argue with those results.
No, exactly. I think it works for long course meets. Maybe not as well for short course worlds and short course World Cups, but works out well.
Yeah. So just to wrap up on that note, do you have a plan for the fall or for this next season? Like, are World Cups on your calendar? I'm guessing comm games are.
Yeah. So next year, definitely we'll be going to the Commonwealth Games. And I do want to do the World Cups this year, but we just have a bit of a problem with the visas because obviously we need visas for America and Canada.
Yeah.
But luckily, I've got an American visa, so I can go to the American legs. But the Canadian one, I applied like a month ago, and they said to me it's going to take a year. So I probably won't get that in time. So I might have to just do 2 of them instead of all 3, which is a bummer. But
I see.
yeah.
Well, that's exciting that you'll be racing a little bit in the United States, short course. But I hope you get to go to Canada. But
Yeah.
Pieter, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat. It's been awesome getting to hear your perspective on this season, and congrats on a great few weeks of racing.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I'll be looking at the predictions for the next few weeks. I'll be reading the SwimSwam.
We will keep this in mind, and I hope we modify accordingly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.